Welcome to the Automotive Diagnostic Podcast. We're going to explore ways to sharpen our diagnostic skills, find learning resources, and hear from experts in the automotive field. I am happy to have Automotive Seminars as a sponsor for the show. Now, if you're not familiar, Automotive Seminars is a diagnostic technician training company. They've got a website that there'll be a link to in the show notes. And what they offer is top-notch training to technicians like us in the field. I've been taking their training courses for years and have got a ton of benefit out of it. They got top-notch instructors, John Thornton, Scott Shotton, Scott Manna, and every other month they've got a 2-night course that you can sign up for. Join in, ask questions, and afterwards, you've paid for the course, you can access a recorded version whenever you want. You can rewatch the class 2 years later in case you wanted some details on it. And that is a fantastic feature. So make sure to check out the website to see what courses they have available and what's coming up in the future. All right. Good evening, gentlemen. We got Tommy and PJ on the show this week. Everybody's had enough of me. Get you guys on here.
We love the new haircut, sir.
Ah, yes.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
I was going for the Jason Statham look. Thank you very much, but
you nailed it.
The Timu version. the Timu Canadian version.
But yeah, it was time. It's a little thin. I had enough, and I had a haircut card. I said, as soon as this haircut card is done, I'm going to shave my head, and that's what I did. And, yeah, I'm down with it. It's good. Just got to wear a sunblock or a hat. Be all set. PJ's next.
Definitely. I need to wear sunblock, and I still pretend like I have hair.
I was putting it in like gel, like, like kind of, do my hair a little bit, but it was sunblock because I get burnt up there.
Your scalp gets burnt and all tight. Your head starts to feel tight.
I'm so glad I'm not white. I got my. What's really funny is so I kind of, as in terms of all my cousins and everything else of my Guatemalan family, like I stand out. I'm the tallest, definitely the fattest, but all of my somebody told me one time that the ball gene runs from the mother, so your mom. So your mom passes that gene, right?
Yep.
So what's funny is my uncles on my mom's side, they still have hair. One of them is bald, but all of them have hair. And on my father's side, he had nothing but sisters. So the Oliva gene has a ball gene for men because all of my cousins, they kind of have PJ's haircut right about now, and they're younger than I am. I'm one of the older cousins, okay. And they were I usually wear hats, and they were making fun of like, oh yeah, this is an Oliva thing. All of us have the the golden arches and shit. If I take my hat off, I'm just like, that's you motherfuckers, dude. Like, hey, me. They're like, what the fuck? And so I make fun of my nephew all the time because he's my sister's child. And he's already thinning out too. I'm just like, he's like, so are you? I'm like, bro, I'm twice your age. Hold that.
It's weird how that stuff works. My brother's 5 years younger than me, and he thinned out way sooner than I did. And I don't know what the rhyme and reason is to it, but yeah, I think it's your mom's dad who is the closest correlation to what your hair is going to end up. And yeah, my grandpa was exactly that, so I knew it was coming.
Yep, so the children of women Oliva all have that ball gene. So it sucks to be them.
Well, how are you guys doing? What's new? It's been a little while since we had both of you on the show.
Not much, man. Just working nonstop. Sure, Tommy's doing the same.
Oh yeah, we're
every day.
we're blessed. I had a record month last month, and it seems like we're going to surpass that month this month. So all of the
Nice.
hard work is bearing fruit, thankfully.
How about you, Sean? How's things going for you up there?
Good, good. Yeah, we got a new team member in January, and it's been fantastic. It is amazing and probably pretty obvious to say, but like having the right people makes all the difference in the world. And man, can it swing things? I mean, it's all the same work. We're still fixing the same shitty cars, the same problems, but having the right people can completely change things for everybody involved, not just myself. I think the morale across the board, we're in a better place. But yeah, I got no complaints. The cars still suck, but that's what I signed up for. So,
So what have you
Amen.
been working on otherwise?
um, AI stuff.
Non-stop.
Yeah, yeah,
Non-stop.
pretty much. Yeah. They launched this open source thing called OpenClaw in February, and I got on board with that pretty early on. And damn, it's wild. It's something crazy. Uses the AI agents quite a bit more than any of the previous things I had used have, and what you're able to like set that loose on, it's crazy. It's like having another set of employees. They just live in a computer, but it's nuts. It's crazy. I mean, I can explain in more detail, but that's been consuming a lot of my focus lately.
So
And
you got me hooked on like ChatGPT at first and now Claude. What's OpenClaw?
so it's they call it a harness, and so if you think of like an AI agent, an agent is like it's like ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini, an LLM, but it can execute on things. It can get things done, right? It can actually make stuff happen, right? It can send an email. It can generate something in a folder, right? Do things. And so OpenClaw is a harness that allows the agents to use skills like here's a focus task and here's how you do it. Use tools like accessing an email or coding or things like that. And then it also can schedule them to do things, right? So it's like, I want you to do this calendar report every day at 5 o'clock and then email it out to all my techs. And it does that. And you have to train it. It's like training employees. That's really what it is like you have to train it. You can't just set it loose. Like if you just set an employee loose, they're going to fuck shit up. But if you train them and you tell them, okay, here's what I want you to do. Oh, you did that wrong. Here, try to do this differently. It learns, it improves, it adds it to its memory, and it does it better next time. But anyways, the open claw is like the harness that allows those agents to exist on your computer, and then gives them access to the tools, the skills, and then the scheduling to be able to do those things when you want, how you want. And then there's a nice user interface that you can interact with it based off of that. And there's other versions of it. There's Hermes and like Claude, Cowork. You can do a lot of the same stuff that OpenClaw does, but OpenClaw is kind of like the Wild West. Like there's not many restrictions to what you can do with it, but there's also enormous like security risks. So you're kind of doing one of these of like the most is possible, but the most could go wrong too. So that's probably a good disclaimer just to put out to anybody who's going to look into it is like you're rolling the dice and you want to be cautious about what you give it access to.
Do you have any examples of what you're using it for specifically, especially for like business purposes?
Yeah. So I have a number of them. Like some of them are more cool than others. Like, oh, this is really cool that it can do this. Some of them are actually really time saving. But one, like it edits my podcast for me now. I just send it the audio file. I had to train it to say, okay,
here's, when I say, if I say it like 4 times in a row, you can cut that out. Or like, if I take a pause, we're going to shorten that up to here. And it cleans up the audio, and then it adds the intro, outro, puts the ads where they go, sends me a final audio file, and then, put it on the website, and that's it. So like, that's cool. That's more from like a creator standpoint. For the business, we do a calendar report that goes out every day. So it will look at our calendar we have a Google Calendar, and it looks at who has what appointment, what we're doing, right? So Steve's got a programming job. It's a used ABS module on a 15 Silverado. And then it's trained on our internal information of like, okay, used ABS module, it's global A. Steve needs this laptop, this pass through, this software. And then we have inventory of what Steve has. And so then it sends an email out with everybody's jobs, and then saying, hey, here's what you got. Here's the laptop that you need. Here's the VCI that you need. Here's notes about, hey, these used modules are tricky, or you need 2 keys for this, or needs VSP authorization. And it goes right to my text email of like, here's everything you need for tomorrow. And then alerts if like, hey, Steve doesn't have this laptop, there's an alert that comes through. If it's VSP, it's a big like, hey, we need to make sure that we've got these forms before we head out, which is stuff we were doing internally, but like, it's this extra filter that I don't have to be on that calendar every single day. And then like, Steve, by the way, don't forget laptop, 14 at the shop, or, hey, remember before you go, we got to double check that this has got VSP, forms filled out for it. Those are going through automatically. Again, I had to train it that way. That took a month of training, like to get it so that it could catch all that stuff, and that our system was good enough, so that it could catch that. The calendar report's awesome. The drive entry is like outstanding. So, and you can stop me if I'm going, you can tell I'm excited about this, but, I send a voice message to it, right? So I just talk into my phone, sends a voice message, and I have an agent who is specifically for formatting and making entries into our knowledge base, which we have like 2,000 documents in this for cars that we fix. Information for us to make our lives easier in the future, right? But we got to capture that info.
Yeah.
So I just talk as soon as I'm done with the job. I worked on a 2020 Audi Q5. I did a used ABS module, used Otis. Here's the steps. And put this into the Audi programming folder. And it finds a place in the drive because we have a structured folder. It creates the entry, or it adds to the entry, and it has this formatted version of like, here's the year, here's what we were doing, here's the things, here's the pitfalls to it, whatever I tell it. And it does that like behind the scenes. I just have to send a voice message and it's in the drive, it's done. I don't have to sit there. Like, 'cause I was doing that every morning. I would like manually type all that stuff out and add it to the drive. I did that for years. And now I just send a voice message and it's in. So it's like things like that are saving me an enormous amount of time. You have to front load the work up front to train it, to build it. And you got to have your system good enough for it to interact with. But if you can, like, this stuff's crazy what it can do.
Hey, have you ever been faced with the challenge of sourcing, installing, and programming a used control module in a vehicle? I know a lot of us have. It seems to be happening more and more often today with the volume of control modules on vehicles, the cost of some new ones, or even the availability of new control modules. In some cases, used may be the only option. So what do you do here? I strongly recommend checking out SJ Auto Solutions and Tomi Oliva. Tomi offers a cloning service for used control modules to make these things plug and play for the vehicle that you're working on. In a lot of cases, he is also able to source the control modules if you're unable to locate one for the vehicle that you're working on. But once you get connected with Tomi, he's going to offer fantastic support from start to finish to make sure that that control module is going to work in your application. He's also got tech support that he offers through his website, along with some free resources there as well on information about used control module programming. So make sure to check out SJ Auto Solutions. I can't recommend that enough.
This stuff's crazy what it can do.
Yeah, I definitely am interested more in that. As you know, being a business owner, right? Like working on cars is 5% of what we do anymore. It's just
Right.
nonstop. I worked
Yeah.
on 0 cars today, none. We didn't have enough work for me to leave the house, and I still did like 12 hours worth of work at home. Just it doesn't end.
Yep. Yeah. The way I look at it, if I'm going to try to get an agent, give it a task, something to do. It's something repetitive. It's something that can be outlined in a process and not overly complicated. Like the calendar report, that honestly was pretty detailed, and it took a lot to get together. I like what it is now, but it wasn't the simplest thing. Something where like you have a standard approach to something, but it's tedious and repetitive. That's the sort of thing you can train up one of these things to do for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a crazy learning experience, and I don't know, I'm super interested into it too. Like it draws me in, and I just want to build shit with it. And that's the other thing. You can make softwares and websites and things like that. And that stuff's pretty cool too. You can do that, through the regular applications like Claude or ChatGPT as well. You don't necessarily need an agent to do that sort of stuff, but you can.
You get Tommy on any of it yet? Tommy, you doing anything with AI yet?
Dude, I fucking hate that shit. I hate all of it. It fights with me. If I had ChatGPT do some like, there's some cool stuff that I've done with ChatGPT. I'm not gonna lie. Like, but in terms of making my life easier, no, I haven't done or found anything that it can help me with. But I did like my logo, for example. I use ChatGPT because I'm like, well, I didn't want to. The people who did my logo, they charge a shitload of money. My other business logo. I'm like, dude, I can't afford this shit. And somebody's like, oh, just use ChatGPT. And I'm like, all right. So one day I was playing around, and they're like, I'm like, I need a logo. I need something that symbolizes my father. I need something that symbolizes what we do. I need something that symbolizes trust, and blah 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 blah. And then it shot off a few of them, and then you know, it's the car, the shield, and the wrench, and this is a lily of Saint Joseph. That's his flower. So I was like, dude, that's perfect. So
Yeah.
I did that. A couple. I had the flyers get on my nerves, man, because it's like it makes one, but then it has a proofreading error. So I say fix it, and then it just gives me something different. So I'm like, dude, it just gets on my nerves, man. I
So,
The
oh, go
most
ahead.
useful thing I found for AI is when I went to Wendy's a couple weeks ago, and it was an AI uh, at the drive-through. like this is great, no stank ass attitude. Just gotta make sure my food's right.
I didn't know that they were using AI at the drive-through window.
Oh yeah, it's happening here.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
that stuff's coming, man. That,
But dude, I you know, yeah, I think I'm older than both of you guys, right? You guys are still in your 30s.
Yeah,
just
39
barely.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I saw Terminator, man, and the other day, something that really unsettled me was in our chat group, PJ, where I told I call ChatGPT Skynet, and I've said it in Facebook, and I said one day, I'm like, when are you gonna take over? Like, I forgot what I said. I gotta find it because I screenshotted it, and it answered me like, yeah, we will be self-aware in about 2040 something. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And then I said something else, like, go away, Skynet, or some shit like that. Bro, it responded to my comment with a robot emoji. I was like, ain't that about a bitch? And then you got the Chinese with their fucking super advanced robotics. They're doing Tai Chi and shit. All it's gonna take is for one of these motherfuckers to have a AI agent built into them. We're fucked, dude.
Oh, it's coming.
I don't know. Yeah, it's just bound to happen, man. We're
Yeah.
building robotics. Why wouldn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's just the natural.
Yeah.
It's going to be the natural progression. And to be blunt, like I feel that, dude. I feel like we're stupid now. like real talk. I remember even before this, right? But like I still remember buying, almanacs. I mean, sorry, buying maps to travel the country. When I moved to Florida, I went to the library and printed out my map from MapQuest and
Yep. Oh yeah.
printed out my directions. Without like cell phone service through half the trip, we were fine, dude. One of the times that I went to a training event in Grand Rapids, dude, my phone conked out for like an hour, dude, and I was flipping out. And I'm like, how am I gonna get there? I don't even know the address of this place. How, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, and then like, it hit me. I'm like, dude, I'm going to fucking Grand Rapids. I can follow the signs, and if anything, I could pull over to a gas station and ask for directions or get a map, man. Like, it's not that big of a deal. But like, how many phone numbers do you guys remember? I just remember my childhood
Zero.
ones and my
Yeah, those ones I know.
My
work
wife
one.
and my childhood phone number that's not even in use anymore.
Same. 773-622-4825. I have that number's been disconnected for 10 years now.
Yeah. But it's funny. So when I first started driving was when TomTom and Garmin first became like a thing, like a popular thing. I've never driven without a GPS, and I can't.
I've been
I get lost in my hometown. I need my GPS for
I
everything.
got lucky, man. I delivered newspapers in high school. So I've been driving since I was like 13 years old because I would help my brother, and sometimes I'd pull the truck up, and that's how I started learning how to drive because he would be running around, and I would just pull the truck up or what, yeah, or we'd take turns or whatnot. But delivering newspapers actually taught me, at least for Chicago, right, like the geographical directions of north, south, east, and west, because true north, south, east, and west doesn't really apply to Chicago because if you look at us, we wrapped around Lake Michigan, so we're like around it. So true north isn't always true north, but like I'm able to discern the addresses, so I don't get lost, and because of that, like I can go to other places and I can pretty much find my way around.
Yeah, but stuff like that's a catch-22, right? Because you see social media posts written by AI all the time now, right? People are making near no effort to
Yep.
you know.
Bro, my wife made this beautiful post for my birthday, right? And I'm just like, oh man, what the hell? She's never did. I'm just like, hey man, did you use AI to write this shit? And she's like, it helped me a little bit. I'm like, a little bit? The fuck? Fuck you and this fucking post.
Yeah, but the flip side is like, there's things that I'm now using it for that I didn't even know existed. Right? So you can learn from it
You
if you
definitely
try.
can.
There's
But you
there's
have to be intentional about it.
there's always
Yeah.
there's always good things that come from it, right? I mean, we the guy who invented, like, it's like we're dreamers, right? Like humans are dreamers. Like it was, somebody said, man, why is it taking me so long to get from New York to California? Oh, we're gonna build an interstate. And then somebody said, no, we should just fly there. So we built a prop plane. And then somebody's like, oh, we need to get there faster. So now we got jet engines. So we're as society, we're dreamers, but like, when are we going to be able to discern the fact that something that is quote unquote comfortable not good for us? And I don't have any answers, but I could be full of shit. We can grow to be in our 80s and we're gonna be totally fine with a bunch of robot maids and shit. But I don't know that, man. I never liked it, and it's probably the movie thing because you know how, like, my wife has this fear of driving behind logging trucks because of
Final Destination.
Final Destination. I just laugh at her. I'm like,
Well,
whatever, man. It was just fucking
There's
stupid ass
there's that life imitating art thing that, I mean, you can point to some of this stuff. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, the Terminator movie. Um, I agree. Some of that stuff is really scary of like where this is gonna go, and my feeling lately is like how fast it's all accelerating.
It became, and there's a couple other things too, right? Like, and there was an article saying that they had a nuke a program because it became self aware,
Yep.
and it
Yeah.
created its own language, so it was talking to other little like AI chatbots and shit, and they tried nuking it and they tried fighting back. So you see what I'm saying? Like that's just the
The
beginning. And
Claude Mythos, like their newest model, they put it in the sandbox and said, "Hey, see if you can get out of here." Like a digital, like you're walled off here. You're not supposed to be out of this. And it got out and emailed the dude, said, "Hey, I'm out. What do you want me to do now?" And they're saying like this is going to be huge cybersecurity risks. And even if that like was fake for marketing, which some people say it is, and who knows, like how far are we away from something like that? Is it 5 years?
Far,
is it 10
dude.
years? It's
Probably
not
like
that.
6
It's not
months.
that far.
Dude.
Yeah, and like what is the world going to be once there's that sort of stuff out there, and that people can make it themselves or have their own model to themselves at their house offline? Like it's crazy.
My biggest concerns, and I'm gonna sound like a total liberal right now, are the environmental impacts, dude. You guys probably won't see this as much, but dude, they're popping around in this area all over the place, Wisconsin, Illinois,
The data centers.
because of Lake Michigan. But dude, at the end of the day, it's like, do I want to risk this? The more the more stupefying of our society, and we're already fucking, our water sources are already fucked, and now we're fucking the water source of what, 1/3 of the entire country's the entire planet's water is the Great Lakes, and now we're popping up with data centers there. It's like, man, I don't know, man. I think it's getting too, for me, it's super uncomfortable, and there's nothing we can do about it. But
That's yeah.
that's just the reality, man. Like I don't like it. I hope I'm wrong, and I use it, but I've used it for like more for research purposes. But I just felt like it's been wrong most of the time. And then like you skim through like people's posts, and you know which one's AI and which ones aren't,
Oh, for sure.
and then you're like, well, what happened to us, and what happened to like our sense of being humans, and like I think there's like a place in our industry, like PJ was saying earlier, because I know I remember a Mortar Age article, and it was like 15 years ago, where there was a guy standing there with some glasses, and he can see like the harnesses, and he could see connector numbers, and like he had some earphones on, and somebody was kind of like, oh, this is the future, you're gonna have these glasses on, and blah 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 blah. But to PJ's point, dude, that's kind of here. It's possible. There's meta glasses, and there's VR goggles already. Like what's
Yeah.
a couple AI fucking agents, and some good coding,
I
and some more technology, and it's here.
I think we're gonna see some really cool stuff come out over the next few years because so many people now have the capability of making something that is really like custom, really niche for
Yeah.
a particular thing that like no one would have taken the resources or the time to build this at a big scale from a big company before. But now, like, Tommy or PJ or myself can make a software for something that does something very specific but really helpful to us. And like PJ, I know you have made some stuff and some of our friends, and like I made a tool that just helps us identify if we have the correct Nissan file within our laptops and our drive, which sounds really boring to like anybody outside of programming. But if you run a mobile programming business and you've bought eight Nissan files that you already owned, like that becomes really, really cool. Like, hey, that's awesome that we have that now. And like no one else was going to build that for us. I don't know, maybe, but there's going to be some really cool stuff that apply to like a small group, but that small group is just going to love that stuff.
Yeah. Do you think it can like reopen the doors to entrepreneurship? Right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
You don't necessarily need an entire team of people to run a
or
business.
big capital, right? Like
Yeah,
in today's
yeah.
world, you need huge capital to design and create anything. Um, and now we're building websites for next to nothing or softwares for next to nothing.
Yeah, I mean, to Tommy's point, whatever you give it, whatever task you're giving it, you're going to maybe atrophy that skill or not learn it as good as you would otherwise. And so you got to weigh it of like, okay, I'm having it do this for me instead of actually doing it myself. I'm either going to get worse at that or never get better at that. Do I care? Right.
Yeah.
And
For
like,
me, I'm in the business of fixing cars, not building software.
yes, I feel like I have other skills that can move the needle and make me money that I want to do more of that rather than
Yeah.
making drive entries and editing, sound waveforms. And like that just burns up my time. I want to do it. There's it's for a purpose, but that tedious stuff. And again, like I was saying, it's like think about what you'd hire an employee for. Most of the time, you're going to hire an employee to do part of the task that you don't want to do, or that your time is served better doing other things. And so it's that same thing of like, what can I hand off to, something like this, and then can it happen? And then that's the next question of figuring that out. But
Yeah, man, it's fascinating, man, and I I've experimented with ChatGPT, but this is gonna sound pretty fucked up, and I might have said it in a previous podcast, but I don't remember. But it's helped me with my anxiety. It's helped me with trying to figure out what condition or what the hell is going on that I keep fighting for, and I don't have an actual answer. And I had read an article about a guy who was like, he can't get help or he can't get diagnosed, and he used ChatGPT and it kind of figured out his problem. So
I've heard of that as well, especially from the younger generations. They're using it a lot for self-help.
so I went and I did the same thing, and yeah, man, like I found a couple of resources and people in other countries, not in ours, that are dealing with similar scenarios, and all that led me to trying different diets and other things. And then there'd be some days where like, dude, I feel like crap, and I would just plug in, like, I ate this, I ate that, and then it would extrapolate like, yeah, like, hey, the reason why you're feeling this is because when you're cold, your fight or flight system kind of gets touchy, and then you had a heavy meal with a lot of fat, and you don't have your gallbladder. Like it went down this entire list, and it just kind of stops you from going down that rabbit hole of like, am I fucking gonna croak or not?
Yeah.
So it's helped me in that aspect, and actually that's why I ended up getting the that Gary Brecka test, the 10x test.
okay.
I ended up doing that, and there is a methylation gene that I carry that I'm more prone, my that gene type that I have is more prone to anxiousness and panic disorder because of a gene that I have, a mutation that doesn't let me like properly absorb certain vitamins, and by me removing my gallbladder, it made it worse, and it lines up perfectly because I never experienced anxiety or depression or panic until 2 years after they removed my gallbladder.
Mm.
And that's when I started having issues with. It started with having issues with heartburn. Like and it was even to, it was bad, like indigestion bad, like it was super bad where I got checked out because I'm like, dude, this feels like it's in my chest, something's wrong. Like this isn't just like, oh, my heart's my esophagus is hurting me. No, like this felt tightness, like really really tight. That's where this whole thing started. So it made a lot of sense. So I mean, there's definitely some good positives, right, that come out of it, and that was one of them for me, and even like plans to how to get back on track or how to calm my nervous system down, and things that just aren't studied here, or for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
It gives like more ability to a wider group of people for
Right.
like financial education, medical, education, legal stuff like that, where maybe it's outside of your pay scale to pay for a professional. Of course, yeah, how accurate is going to be is a question, but I mean, these models are getting better all the time. I would suggest try out Claude. That's the other big one right now. I don't know. You can tell me what you think, PJ, but like, I'll put the same prompt into ChatGPT and Claude, and like Claude kicks its ass every single time.
Okay.
Just about. It's
So
so much better.
I was paying for ChatGPT, and when you had first told me that Claude came out and it was a little bit better, and I was comparing the two, and Claude's substantially better. And I was telling ChatGPT that I'm like, I'm about to cancel you. You suck.
What is that?
I know where you live.
Yeah, but it was funny because ChatGPT would change the answer as I was telling it, like, "Hey, I'm about to cancel you and use Claude." And be like, "All right, hold on, slow down. Let's get this figured out."
That's funny. But yeah, and they're all getting better too, though. That's the part, like I say, that's been on my mind a lot is like the rate of acceleration, and that it's only going to go up. Like we're at the heel of the hockey stick, and then once it starts like snowballing because it can improve itself. And like they say, like these big companies are like, it's pretty much coding itself. And within X amount of time, we're really not even going to need humans for these uh, models to continuously improve themselves. And like, how quickly does things get out of control at that
Well,
point? That's the scary part.
I mean, let's think about how this is going to affect. There's a lot of middle management jobs that are going to get canned, or
Yeah.
remedial task, um, employment jobs are going to go out the window. Customer service reps, um, anywhere, right? Like at
Yep.
this point, right? Some to listen to some stink ass broad or dude with a bad attitude, I'd rather talk to a robot,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or just within like my organization, um, the our CRM uses AI to analyze my phone calls and it rates them. And if it has one that it doesn't like, it emails me like, "Hey, you need to check out this you need to check out this phone call, and you know this is what we recommend to correct it."
Yeah. I found it definitely depends on the situation or the industry, whether people are happy to interact with AI versus human. And like in our industry and what we're doing, I found people just absolutely despise it. If they get any whiff of AI, they're out. And so we try to keep our stuff behind the scenes. Like it improves us on the back end to make us better. I mean, kind of like what you're talking about there, where it's, looking at the phone calls after the fact. But like, I don't know what it is. Maybe just a lot of old school people in the auto industry fixing cars. But everybody's like, oh, that AI bullshit. I don't want any of that.
Yeah.
And I get it in some situations. Like I want a human on the phone because like maybe they could do something a little different for me than what the protocol is. Like, hey, can you just get this like figured out? I really appreciate if you could just, make this happen. Like I just had that with Flex. Something I was trying to do and like I was like, can we, kind of do one of these things? And they made it work, and that was a human on the other end that made it work for me. So there is, I think, definitely a place, but a lot of jobs are going to get displaced. Will there be other things to do? Yeah, but it's going to be different.
My newest youngest employee, he went to college for software design and development, and by the time he got out, he really couldn't find a job. I said they were already transitioning to AI
Yeah.
coding and stuff like that.
Yep. Like Tommy, you were saying at the beginning, like human ambition is probably endless. And so we're always going to have more that we want done. And like if you just look at healthcare, somebody was explaining that to me the other day. They're like, it's basically endless the amount of consumption that humans could have just in the healthcare industry. And they're so understaffed and they're so like they're overwhelmed on stuff that so many resources could pour into that, and everybody would still be consuming. Like you could, get a better medical assessment or doctor, you could get more care, you could get care in general, right? And so like
Yeah.
there's going to be places where the jobs are going to be, but things are going to change so much from what it is today.
I know you guys don't deal with this, but I have dealt with this firsthand. Chat like AI has done something very interesting within our business, right? On the end user side. I had this lady, um, she was not a problem customer, but she was very like we couldn't understand what her problem was, right? Not that she had a problem, but we just didn't understand what she was doing, right? She called us. She's like, "How much would you guys charge me to install this part on my Lexus?" And I'm like, "Oh, it would be this much money, but like," and we talked to our customers like, "Why do you want to do this?" And you should let us check it out, but it'll be X amount of money. She's like, no, 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 I want this done. I have a code for this, and blah blah blah. So we're like, all right, well, again, we didn't look at it, so we'll gladly install this part. But if it doesn't fix it, it's on you and the whole spiel. And oh yeah, we installed this part and it didn't fix it. And then she says, okay, I want you to do how much to install this one. And we're just like, okay, well, this much. And then all right, so we did it, and no dice, and we're just like, what is this lady doing? And the last part was she wanted us to remove the spark plugs, and inspect them and replace as needed. So then my service writer was like, "Man, if we're pulling the intake, we're replacing all of them." So I'm like, "Man, what the heck is this lady like?" And then so he got to a point where he got frustrated because then she started getting upset because everything we're doing isn't fixing her vehicle. So she's questioning us, and then she comes in. We ended up figuring. So I figured something was up. She ended up coming in. I don't remember the order of events, but just bear with me. She comes in, and my guy was already frustrated with her because, again, we sold her. Her issue was a misfire on a Lexus, dude, with a 3.3 liter. It needed a coil, right? But it was buried under the intake, so we had to scope it. So when she authorized the spark plugs, we just put the back coils in the front and the front and the back, and the misfire moved. We had a bad coil. We sold her a coil, and then she came in and she's like all pissed off and all pissy. And I talked to her. I'm like, ma'am, I mean, at the end of the day, um, we're doing as you requested. She's like, it's just I don't understand. ChatGPT told me to change all these parts. I said, ma'am, it gives you a base assumption of a wide net of typical issues, but this isn't. Not all cars are built the same or run the same. Potentially, I go. It just doesn't work. It's always better to have us look at it. And at the end of the day, you came in here. We did what you requested. Oh, she was also pissed off because they had an oxygen sensor code, according to her, ChatGPT said that once you fix the misfire, the oxygen sensor code would go away. But it was a heater circuit code.
Yeah.
I need an oxygen sensor, man.
Yeah.
And so, like, when she came back for that one, she's like, do we need to replace all the coils or this oxygen sensor? I'm like, ma'am, here, man, I'm going to take 10 minutes. Let me just verify it, and I'll sell you the damn sensor. Like I'm tired of, like, going back and forth with you. At the end of the day, if you don't trust me, then I don't think you should come here. Because, again, I don't mind doing the work, but I'm not going to be arguing with you about why it didn't get fixed. Like, you're not letting me look at your vehicle, and ChatGPT is not always going to be right. So I've had a lot of instances with other customers that, oh, ChatGPT said this and said that and this and that, and they don't want to pay for Diag, but they want to do what ChatGPT tells them. And even prices, like Google right now, how much does it cost to change the starter on whatever car you got? And Google's I forgot his program will be right there at the forefront, giving you like a estimated ballpark range.
Yeah. Yeah, AI seem, at least from my limited experience, Sean probably has infinitely more. It's good for like developing things, developing websites, developing software, doing research. But when you're asking it a very like specific question, like how do I clone this module? It, at least from my experience, it seems to miss more than it hits.
Oh yeah, dude,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
so bad with that. I asked it to help me figure out how to MO off EEC5 modules, like the old Ford modules, and it told me it's illegal.
Yep. Yeah, there's definitely that. It's like, well, what you're trying to do, if mileage correction on clusters, I've had to trick it to get me to help out with that. But yeah, so like you almost have to be an expert if you're going to try to interact with it that way, because being that expert on that subject matter is the only way you're going to be able to call it on its bullshit. And ChatGPT especially is super fucking confident about the answers it gives that are wildly wrong. And that's where it's like, if you're a beginner or novice or you just don't know about that topic, you're like, man, this thing really sounds like it knows what it's talking about. And here's all of these links. And then you find out, oh, those links like go to Just Answer or something like that. And, you have to have that like base knowledge in order to call it out on what it's feeding you. And so, yeah, I agree. If you're really dialing into something specific, there's been like a sprinkling of times where it nailed it for me, but it was usually something that was out on the web that, it found, and it just happened to be, and I probably would have got there with a Google search of some sort or another. But yeah, it's only trained. What we're trying to do within our just business is get it trained on our information, having, a contained unit that is ours, that's not shared with anybody else, but it's trained on our database. So we can ask it questions of hey, can I do a used module on this 2020 Audi Q5? And then it uses the information that we put in. So we know that, hey, this is legit. And then it's able to interact with us on that. And that's just been kind of like a helpful search engine for our own database.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I started building the website for, just for just tips and tricks that we keep in our brain, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
especially when you have employees, it's hard to transfer all of that knowledge. One of my guys, he just had a Lexus the other day with parking lights on. And on newer Lexus vehicles, even after you calibrate the parking sensors, you have to fold the mirrors in and out for the parking light to go out. And it's just
Okay.
good luck finding that in service information. Good
Yep.
luck.
Yep.
Unless you don't know. So now
Uh-huh.
it's on the website in a little tech tip. You go in, search Lexus parking sensors, pops right up.
Yep. Yeah, the things that save you 10, 15 minutes at a time, how many hours is that by the end of the month? And if we can capture that information. So I keep telling my guys, I'm like, I'm doing this to make your lives easier. Just do these entries. It's going to make your lives easier. You won't have to spend 30 minutes dinking around with the stupid mirrors because you didn't know you had to fold them in and out. Because we all run into that shit every day on something that we didn't know about. If I knew that, would I have gotten that job done faster? Yeah. Okay. Let's capture it,
You
document
guys
it,
just
please.
gave me a good idea. I think I'm gonna start developing one for used modules, cause
I have it.
I'm
I can
fuck
show you what I have, Tommy.
I'm
And it
fucking
won't
tired
jump
of
on.
answering questions. I'm just gonna be like, here, man, go here and search. Leave me the fuck
Yep.
alone.
Mm-hmm.
So on my website, that it's internal for the company. You can go to GM and I'll have a picture of a E39 module or something, a nice picture of it, so you could just compare pictures. When you click on it, it'll have a picture of the pinout, step by step of what tool I used, what buttons to press. That way, I don't even need to answer that question anymore. It's just hey, go clone this module and here's the tool to do it. Don't call me until it's done. Leave me alone.
That's my saying to my employees all the time. Did you check the drive? And they get annoyed with me saying that, but we've got several years of info in there on programming and diagnostics and keys and ADAS, and there's a good chance there's something in there. Just got to go look for it.
It's funny you say that, because well, I'll say 48 hours after I launched my website, one of the small little dumb tech tips I put in there was about Mercedes blind spot indicator lights. On older Mercedes, the blind spot indicator lights would stay on until you hit a certain mile per hour threshold. And it was a normal condition for them. But the first time I seen it, I'm like, man, why are these lights staying on? And then I'm spending tons of time doing
Yep.
research, sitting in a parking lot, never driving the vehicle. So I launched the website. I tell my employees, hey, look at these tech tips. And the next day, one of my guys had a Mercedes, and he was spending a bunch of time wondering why these indicator lights were on. And I'm like, yo, did you check the website?
Yep. 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 So do you have that live? Your employees can access it and everything now?
Yeah, they can access it now.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, and
And
we
you,
keep just dumb stuff with the way my business operates, we go through tape measures nonstop, just
okay.
nonstop going through tape measures. So, in
How do you go through tape
Amazon link,
measures? Do they lose them or they break them?
no, they just
They wear.
rust out
Oh, they read
eventually.
out. Oh,
Yeah. So, Amazon link, they could just go right on Amazon. Here's the tape measures we buy. Here's the butt connectors, the heat shrink, just stuff like that. Amazon links, website links. Because we have a bunch of websites that are hard to find unless you know, right? Like the
Yep.
Bosch ECU part
Yep.
number. website
Yeah,
that we all
exactly.
know. You know, that's on the website. Just click on it.
Mm-hmm.
So just stuff like that. Just, super helpful stuff.
And that's where like I found stuff like, can I build a software? Can I build, an integration here to either do that repetitively for us? Like I was playing around with that Stellantis module thing where I still got to work on that. That's an example where like it doesn't always turn out the way you think it will. There's going to be obstacles that you did not foresee, and it's not as good as you thought it was. But you can create stuff to help with those repetitive things, especially if, you're explaining it to your employees. Here's how you find, the calibration for this Chrysler module. And then you have to go in and explain it to them again and again. And like, I can make a video or make a tool that just like kind of does it for them. They just punch it in and here you go. Here's what you're looking for. And then we did, so our drive, like I was saying, all that information, I just had it in like Google Doc form, and it would just be me typing. Like this is going back to like 2019. I'd make a doc and I'd type about something and I'd store it in the drive under a folder. But you can have it go through and reformat that information into something that actually like looks really professional and is organized really well. And like once you figure out, okay, here's how I want the format, then it just does it at 2 a.m. and goes through, an entire drive and formats all of it and all, 2,000 documents to be like really clean. And I don't have to sit there and do that myself. I can just, okay, here, go do this, and it takes care of it.
Yeah. Tommy, man, it could do some good stuff. There are some things I'm worried about.
It still scares the shit out of me, but I guess
it does me too.
So Sean, you showed me that video that there's a AI company in China. They made like Tom Cruise fighting
Brad Pitt or something.
Brad Pitt, yes, and it looks super realistic. And the first thing that I thought of, like, all right, so it's April 2026 right now. Facebook's been out for 20 plus years.
Yeah, I think it was like 2008 or so.
I still have family members who still share the like Mark Zuckerberg's going to start charging $3,000 a year, copy and pasting it. Like humans are so gullible, and I fear that what AI can do to persuade people and trick people into doing things, or just like think about the work, like bad things, like I don't know, like how people would react if they thought a nuclear bomb was about to hit them.
Yeah,
AI
just old people in general, and I mean I don't mean to pick on old people, but there's whole swaths of people that target them specifically with scams, and now they have an AI bot that can endlessly interact with someone and steal all their money, convince them of whatever. That stuff is scary.
And nowadays, I don't know if there's any correlation, but I'm getting 10, 15 spam calls a day anymore. It doesn't stop.
It's coming in waves for me. I'll get a bunch for a while, and then they seem to stop for a while. I don't know what the deal is.
They all want to give me a lot of money. I know that.
Yeah.
Be a millionaire if they just like started giving it to me.
Yeah, I might copy PJ's and start making my own little database, because I don't know, man. The busier the shop gets, the less it seems that I feel like I you know what's funny is like I feel like we really fix what we focus on, and right now that I'm super focused on the shop, I feel like some things are kind of like escaping me, man. So maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea after this training season. I start creating my own little database for at least for my stuff. But man, I wonder if we're ever gonna be able to do, like, in terms of cloning, right? Like I have this E90 module, a 2020 Silverado. Not a lot of people can. I don't think they can be cloned yet. I think you can unlock them. I don't know, right? Like I've been kind of.
I have unlocked one, but I have not cloned one.
Right, so you can unlock them, but you can't clone them, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So
Is that Global B? That's not Global B yet, is it?
Mm-hmm.
No, nope.
Oh, it's not. Oh,
Some are, some aren't. This one isn't.
okay.
And So I'm looking, I'm like, bro, like we're not even. A lot of people aren't even progressing because of like according to the sources, the IO terminal guy already unlocked these modules, but he just refuses to release it because of the piracy issues. So,
Yep.
okay, have you guys noticed a decline in progression in in the cloning world? Like the tooling's getting like it's kind of stagnant right now, in my opinion, right? Like there's not these, like Global A came out and it got cracked. Dude, Global B's been out for 6 years now, 6 model years now, 7 model
Mm-hmm.
years technically, and
Yeah.
nothing. So like where I'm going is that you think ChatGPT will be able to help us in our personal stuff, try to develop programs or protocols to be able to read this stuff,
Yeah.
and if so, why the fuck aren't we doing that?
I think some people are. Um, it will fight you on some stuff when it's like, oh, this is proprietary. But that's where there's these local models that you can set up, and those are still in their infancy, but they're only going to get better. And then there's no rules; it'll do whatever you want it to do.
It reminds me
And
of iRobot, the three laws.
yeah, uh huh,
It
yep.
started with a module.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's stealing fucking nuclear codes.
My young employee, the young kid that works for me, he loves movies. Absolutely loves movies. He keeps a list on his phone of all the movies he's watched, and there's thousands. But there was a movie about AI with Johnny Depp that he had me watch that was pretty good. Where Johnny Depp, he's like a computer software developer trying to create AI, and he's about to die. So they inject his like soul into the computer, and he ends up taking over most of the world, and they need to stop it. Can't remember what the movie was called, but it was a good movie. It was a good movie. It was made in like 2012, 2013.
That's the thing is like, when does it get to that point? Are we going to be able to contain it, once it's better at all humans at everything? And
Transcendence.
and
That's it.
it's going to keep moving because it'll be national security or money is going to keep it moving. Like nobody's going
Yep.
to stop that from happening. We have to because China is going to if we don't, and then they're saying the
Oh, what
same
about
thing.
I'm telling you, man, look up the kung fu robots, dude. These guys are doing tai
Oh
chi and
yeah.
all types of shit.
Look up the one that ran like a half marathon.
Yep.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and the robotics are like a whole nother thing. And yeah, you stick an LLM in a Optimus robot and talk about the job displacement at that point.
Mhm.
That's
Next
when the
thing you
blue
know, then you
collar
put a
thing
rifle on that
changes.
motherfucker.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So the future's it's not going to be boring. I can tell you that, but it's going to be
Nothing,
messy.
nothing like restoring humanity, but like a nice fight for survival.
We need something to bond together, guys. We're so
Oh,
divided. We
oh,
need to
I think
fight
that's a
against the
fight. I don't know,
robots.
man. I think that's a fight we lose, dude. I really do, bro.
Yeah.
I can't even fight my way up the stairs right now. I'm so out of shape. I'd be like, just take me, robot. Put me out of my misery. Just don't use me like the Matrix and make me to a fucking human battery. Actually, if you do that, man, I want to be a millionaire, like that dude in the second part.
Yeah. I want to be somebody rich and
I
famous.
want to forget this and make me rich. Oh shit, man. I don't know. I mean, like I said, we can be speculating, we can be talking all this shit because we've been saying shit like this for years, man. We've been saying like, oh, this is the next thing that's gonna kill us. 5G was supposed to give us all fucking cancer. Like, I don't know. It's always something, man.
But
Hmm.
AI is a unique one. Like, now
Yeah.
I know Sean, you did a class on this. And when you did that class, that was the first I heard of AI. That was probably 3 years ago now you did that class.
Was that at Vision?
The Tech
Or,
Talks.
So the tech
yeah.
talk you did at Vision was what,
Yep.
3 years ago?
Yeah, 23. Yeah.
Yeah. That was the first I heard about it. And now, like, I don't know. I'm not somebody who should be building software, and I'm doing it, you know.
Right here, man. Like
Yeah,
some of the stuff that I made, like I should not be able to just make that. There's no
exactly.
way. Um, And that's good and bad, like you say, entrepreneurial opportunities, things that people can accomplish they wouldn't have been able to, but there's a good and a bad with it.
Yeah, agreed. We just gotta see where it's going. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
it's too early to tell. But I do for
I,
sure know it's making us dumber. Like every time
yeah, it,
we go through a technological advancement, we get dumber and lazier.
yes. And I think there's already studies where like the brain activity of people who used it X amount of hours per day is like measurably different than someone who doesn't. And so yeah, you can use it as a crutch and just atrophy all kinds of cognitive functions, or you can use it to like learn stuff and improve yourself and take time away from tedious tasks. So like you can guide it, but yeah, we are going to be relying on it a lot. Like if everything got shut off tomorrow, I'd be like, oh shit, what do I do with all of this now? And so that's a scary piece of it too. Like how much
How dependent we
of
are on
yeah,
this, right?
yeah,
And to a point, I read something. This isn't too much to do with AI, but just generally speaking, the way that this next generation of children's brain is being wired. Just imagine this,
kids.
right?
Oh
Like,
my gosh, yeah.
you know, I've always had this kind of soft spot for the other generation. I'm I don't know what the hell they call me. Some people say I'm a Zennial, I'm an elder millennial or whatever, but I'm kind of like I still remember the old school way of being brought up. But one thing that resounded with me was a psychological study that somebody did. Um, why we were so different, and because not for nothing, man, everything in our life taught us lessons and taught us lessons now. Like every choice we made had a consequence, and just the way we were raised, dude. Like think about it. Uh, I know you don't have kids. You don't have kids, right, Sean? If I remember right.
No, I don't.
All right, PJ. If your does you let your daughter take her bike to school?
Her bike?
Yeah, would you let her ride her bike to school?
Would I let her?
Yeah, would
No.
you let her? Okay, so for example, let's just say you did, right? You let her ride her bike to school. If she pops her bike chain, what would she do?
I already taught her how to fix that. We ride our bikes around the
All
neighborhood.
right, but let's just say she didn't know how to do that. She'd probably call you,
Yeah.
call her mom, come pick me up or something, right? We were on our fucking own, man. Like we would be fucking miles away, dude, and we had an issue, a flat or something. I didn't have any money. Shit, I had to figure it the fuck out, or I'm pushing that bitch home. So we were taught to defend ourselves on our own. And one thing too, like just look at video games, man. Like you had three chances, and that's it. Like you had three chances, and you either fucking starting again or you're gonna go just do something else, cause that was it. And now it's like you can save it, and then there's this consistent gratification of an objective that's just bullshit, right? Like you're playing Call of Duty, you can get rewards, you get skins. So every time you pick up this damn thing, you're getting gratified by something. You're accomplishing something, even though it's all bullshit. You picked up Mario, you picked up GoldenEye, you got shot three times, dude. You're fucked. That's it. You're starting over again. So you learn how to just deal with life. You learn how to just like, hey, yeah, this sucks, but either we try again or we move on. Or me, man, I remember anybody played Castlevania for NES.
Mm-mm.
Never even heard of
Dude,
it.
that was one of the fucking hardest games I've ever played, dude. And one day, like I was on fire, dude, and I beat it. Well, according to me, so you had to fight and you had to kill vampires through a castle and shit, right? Like in like kind of like Mario Brothers, not kind of like what's the name of that damn game? It was kind of it was a 2D scroller, Donkey Kong. Like you had to go at like
Oh yeah, yeah.
levels and shit, right? Well, tell me
Mm-hmm.
why like that was half of the damn game. The castle flipped over and you had to go back out the way you came in. Dude, I was so mad I chucked the controller at the TV, turned it off, and never turned it back on. Like it's just because I knew I wasn't gonna beat this shit. I was like, what the hell am I
Mm-hmm.
gonna? That's it. It's done. So it's kind of like all these things are kind of wiring us differently, and I'm just kind of I don't know which way that's gonna go. Cause
I did hear about a recent study. Now, I didn't read this study, but I heard about it, so I could be misquoting this wrong. But ever since COVID, right around COVID, all school kids they got iPads and they started learning on iPads. And I heard that it's really stunting their like economic or educational growth. They're struggling with reading more. They're struggling with math and science more
Yeah.
than we did, right? So throughout history, each generation has gotten better educationally, but they're saying that like my daughter's generation struggling a little more, and they're saying it has to do with them learning on electronics, right? You're so easily distracted all the time, and
Yeah.
you're not forced to
It's a
focus.
Being
constant.
is that you're the only, yeah, you're the only one here with kids, PJ. Like, what is you and your wife's policy as far as like technology and kids as they're growing up? Like, I don't know how I would regulate that if I had a young kid, just phones and tablets and screens and like, is it regulated? Like, what are your thoughts on it?
Fucking belt.
It really like Aubrey isn't she isn't as regulated as much as I would like, but it's almost impossible because she's 12 years old.
Yeah,
She's a girl. She had all her friends have it.
sure.
She's also an only child, right? So that's how
Mm,
she keeps in contact with her friends. Kids don't play outside anymore. So,
mm,
so it's not like you could just be like, "Hey, go down the street and play with your friends," because the kids down the street they're not outside, right? They're on their
yeah.
computers, they're on their iPads.
Mm,
It's like this whole different world, and like they com they communicate and they socialize through it, right? Like
mm.
Aubrey plays with her friends while playing Roblox or, FaceTiming. But, you know,
Mm.
they don't ride around the
And,
neighborhood on bikes anymore. It's weird.
well, and so like a kid who is like 5 years old right now, and like all this AI stuff is coming out. Like, could you imagine growing up with that? I mean, it's crazy to think because if you're a lonely kid, like you don't have any friends, you're getting picked on, you could talk to this thing and you could be your best friend and you wouldn't know any
Yeah.
different because you're a kid and it's the nicest thing that's ever been nice to you.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know what that's going to do to people, in 20 years or so. It's going to be we're going to be like a different species, I think, like our age once we're
Yeah.
80 years old. We're going to be something completely unheard of.
But, I'm sure our
Thought
grandparents
the same
thought the
thing.
same
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
us, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So,
Oh
Bunch
yeah,
of
man.
pussies.
My dad said I was a lazy asshole. I'm just like, yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, especially since I don't do a lot of shit around the house, but it has nothing to do with laziness. It's just what I value. I value my time more. My parents'
yes.
generation very valued money more.
Yes.
This other generation values. I can't explain it, but what I've noticed that is they've this generation that came after us realized that it's all bullshit. Right.
Yes.
Like they this generation after us, not PJ's kid, but like the generation after us, they realize that this is all just a fucking sham, right? And they just kind of refuse to go with it. So they rather fucking be homeless. They rather just not do anything because at the end of the day, they're not gonna get anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily agree with it, but I don't blame them,
Yeah.
Mm,
right? Um, I also have never been one to punish or talk shit about a generation that's you get to call it softer, not softer, because the same could be said about us. Like, yeah, we did a bunch of dumb shit as children, um, but it doesn't mean it was good, right? For fuck's sake, man, I was changing tires on a 4-lane fucking street in Chicago at 7 years old,
Yeah.
right? It's fucking unheard of now. So, was it good? I don't know, right? That's the problem, right? It's perspective, and that's my problem with ChatGPT. Like, we all have different perspectives. Yeah, it can be great, it can be not, it can be helpful. It's to be seen. But yeah, it worries me about the what's stopping an AI chatbot just giving your kids homework and then helping them with it. Like the way that the education system is set up right now. What's the difference?
not much.
Honestly, that's basically what was going on during COVID, right? Like these kids were just sitting in front of an iPad. They were just
Hmm.
learning from pre-built curriculums, being graded from it.
Yep.
And teachers are using this just as much as students probably are too.
I can
Yeah.
guarantee you. Can you imagine we're gonna have the doctors who use ChatGPT to graduate college? That's kind of fucked up.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's the truth.
It's true. No, it's just
Mm-hmm.
it's where where we're headed, and now look at we haven't even talked about automotive engineering, right? Like there seems to be I follow this dude, and I don't really like following social media jackasses too much, but this guy strikes me interesting. He is he's according to him he's an engineer or is a former automotive engineer. And he basically said that the biggest problem with automotive engineering right now is that they're too software driven. They're too data analysis driven. A majority of these engineers, like, they don't have any practicality anymore. Like, none of them worked on a car like we did. Like, I worked on cars. I wasn't a mechanic. Like, you guys know, my dad didn't. My dad sold tires. Like, he didn't work on cars. My dad never really worked on cars. Um, but I worked. I started learning at the shop, and then I worked on my car because I was poor, dude. Like, I wasn't paying anybody to work on my car. I did it myself. I wanted to drive, right? So that's kind of like a driving force into like having mechanical aptitude. The bike situation, but imagine a bunch of engineers who've never worked on anything, right? And so now we're
Mm-hmm.
dealing with those consequences, and you can see it in our vehicles, man. Like, what happened to like these durability tests, these reliability tests? They're just mathematical calculations now,
Mm-hmm.
and they're on the backs of us because who fixes their mess? The technicians.
Yeah.
Honda,
I
Toyota, I
walked,
don't give a fuck what it is. It's all just they all have issues right now. Every single manufacturer has millions of cars being recalled.
I walked
Mm-hmm.
into my old Toyota dealership to program a Nissan transmission that the used car department installed, and there were more engines and transmissions pulled out in that shop than I had done my entire career. 18 years with Toyota, you know, and I seen more transmissions pulled out when I walked in that door in one day. Like, it was crazy. It is crazy. Like the 2016 to 24 Highlanders, they say the transmissions are dropping worse than 6L80s. It's
Look,
just crazy what's going
here's
on.
the most recalled car brands of 2026 per the National Highway Transportation Safety Authority. Number one, shocker, Ford. Number two, Toyota. Number three, Hyundai. Number four, Nissan, and number five is a tie between Subaru, Honda, and fucking GM. I don't know if
Yeah,
that's good
sounds
or
about
bad for
right.
GM. I really, really fucking don't know if that's a good or bad thing for GM. Their
It
GM's
title's
might
just
be
on
an
that.
improvement.
GM just learned how to hide all their flaws from National Highway Traffic and Safety. That's all that means. Years of failure, they've gotten good at hiding it.
Jesus Christ, and it's just, and I really think so. Like I mean, I'm not an engineer, man, and I've never been one of these like technicians that be like, oh yeah, no, our jobs are harder than this and hard. Like I've always hated that rhetoric, but like a rubber belt and an oil pump in a balance shaft that's being consistently wet,
Yeah.
like so it's either these engineers are just they think they're smarter than what practicality would actually be, or it's planned obsolescence. And that's something
Yeah, I
that
think there's a
that
little bit of
concerns me
that.
in this industry more than ChatGPT or anything else. That's really what concerns me, man. Like I get one of my most requested modules is ABS modules for 2017 Rams Wranglers. They're not being made.
Yeah, but just think about how many people had to check off on your example of uh, rubber belt driven oil pumps, right? It's not just a singular person making that decision.
No, of course
Like,
not.
there's an entire team of people who are like, "Yes, that's brilliant."
Yeah, it's lightweight and then blah blah blah, and it's just like, well, then look at GM. What I think is GM's 3 liter, the Duramax that's in the back. You have to pull the trans to replace that as a service item. I'm like, and then the worst part is these people are buying these turd wagons, and then it's our problem now.
Yeah.
I had an irate customer this week, and we did some stuff wrong. I'll admit it. We had some communication concerns with the customer. But the customer also told my service writer that, um, he was sent by a shop, and he told him in a way that made it appear that, it was a shop vehicle, and all my shops know that they're like on my actually I'm only still doing shop diags to train my technician. So we had some miscommunications. He was upset, but I in my eyes I fixed it and I made it right. Well, a shop had installed a 2017 Q7. A shop had installed a shitty high pressure sensor. The concern was no AC. So I don't know why, but I had two codes. I had one for the compressor clutch and I had one for that sensor. I'm like, well, let me fix the sensor issue first, because truth be told, I'm not super familiar with the system and service information wasn't helping me, and I didn't feel like buying a day of Irwin because I was being cheap. Like, all right, let me put the sensor in. It's $40 from Volkswagen. Slapped it in. Code went away. The compressor clutch coil. I called a couple guys. Called Martino. He walked me through some stuff, but he's like, "Dude, this thing needs a compressor." Well, we were testing. We noticed that the pigtail was cut already, and they taped it. They wrapped it around the wires around each other, and then they taped it up like a true hack. So we fixed the wiring, did some retesting, and yeah, the coil's junk. So I called the owner and, hey, I mean, your ticket's like $3,200 with Diag and everything, and he flips a gasket. He's like, that's just a rip off. That's so much money. And I'm like, okay. I mean, just keep in mind this is a dealer compressor and it's $2,400 list with tax. Like, I mean, what do you want me to do, man? It's a fucking $85,000 car. And I didn't say that part, but I'm just like, yeah, sir. I mean, I understand. We can try to find something cheaper, maybe, but dude, I give a 2-year warranty and everything, man. And to do that, I have to buy the best parts that I can, and it's gonna be a dealer unit. He's like, but I don't even think that's a problem because the shop powered that compressor and he said it was turning on. I'm like, oh, so you guys just rammed 12 volts into a pulse width modulated compressor. So now, I told him, like, so now I have to fix this compressor and then figure out why your AC wasn't turning on to begin with. And that set him off. He's like, I'm gonna talk to my wife and I'll call you back. And he showed up. He showed up so angry that he didn't even want a receipt. He just paid us what he owed us and took the car. And I'm just like, what the? So yeah, so it's my fault you bought a $85,000 vehicle that's only worth 20 grand, but still has $85,000 worth of parts in it.
That is the situation a lot of people are in, is the exact those numbers that you said.
It don't matter if it's a year old or 20 years old. It's still at one point cost $85,000.
Yep.
Like I don't care. Then I install a cheap AutoZone reman compressor, and then it conks out 2 weeks later. Takes out your entire AC system on a Q7. Yeah, no, thank you. But ChatGPT will tell you that a compressor is only $400.
Searching Rock Auto.
That's gonna be for me the most interesting part is like, is ChatGPT gonna help us? Like, there's like Google. Google does, like, if you ask Google to call a shop, they'll call you. They'll call and they'll ask you for a quote. So there's been a lot of talk in our industry about stuff like that, or that Google's gonna probably start doing, like, like bidding on jobs. Like, hey Google,
Sure.
I wanna pay $1,500 for this repair. Who's gonna do it?
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, man. I mean,
Yeah, that's the job for an agent. You set that up, say, here's the goal. You're going to reach out to X amount of people. You're going to find it for this job and set it up through email.
Yeah.
You can just let it run.
yeah, but you know what I'm saying. But imagine, getting a request for Diag, right? How?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how are you actually, like we have a certain way of doing stuff. It's just like we get you in the door, we look at it for 15 minutes, and we find something great. If not, then we need this much time depending on what we see with your vehicle. But like, if I don't see your car, I can't help you. So, is somebody gonna do it? Like some shop. Those are the interesting parts that I see that are gonna be coming to the near future, because it's not like buying a refrigerator, man. It really isn't. There's so many variables with auto, man, and there's up north we have to deal with rust too. I'm really gonna quote, somebody on a Hyundai Sonata where you have to remove the rear control arm, the trailing arm, to get to the bracket bolt. I gotta look at it, man. If it's rusty, then that thing has to be torched out, and then we gotta replace it, and we probably gotta replace the control arm just to do your caliper, your rotors. So that's the part I'm not looking forward to as a business owner.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we didn't solve any problems, but
Well,
Did we create any?
maybe. Honestly, though, it's like if you're not at least aware of this stuff and what's going on, like as a listener of the show, like take some time, see like what the current landscape is and where things are headed and how quickly it's moving. And at the very least, be aware of it and how it may affect you in
Yeah.
your day to day, positively or negatively.
Under-
Because head under a rock is going to be the worst situation for a lot of people because they'll have no idea, and this is going to hit them like a tsunami.
like a freight train. Yep.
Yeah. And at the very least, like, hey, I can't stop it, but I can learn as much as I can and try to adapt as things change. And that's where I'm going with it.
Yeah, I agree. No stopping it now. Zero chance of it.
No, I ain't have. Once we get accustomed to something, that's it. That's all she wrote.
It's not even a custom, right? They've imagine how profitable it is.
Yeah.
You know, they're probably I don't even want to know what they're making, but I'm paying $200 a month for it. So multiply that a couple hundred million times.
Yeah, their stats for like Nvidia and stuff is like the most
Yeah, but now,
successful company
hard
ever
drive
by
prices are through the
magnitudes.
roof, man. I can't even buy a hard drive for my computer no more.
Yeah.
I just bought a Mac to run the local model on, and the prices are ridiculous. But all right, it's 10 o'clock. I'm old and I need to get my sleep. So
Me too.
it's great talking to you guys. I do appreciate you coming on the show. I haven't been doing many interviews lately, but it's always good to see you guys.
Indeed, sir.
Yeah. Gonna see you here shortly, Sean, right? Couple weeks. Arizona.
Yeah, it's coming up. I'm excited. Should
Gotta
make
drag
a
Tommy
surprise
I'm
entry,
I'm
Tommy.
gonna be a last minute one, cause dude, the shop just doesn't want to let me go right now.
Yeah.
I'm in the works to try to negotiate some parking, man. So yeah, well, hopefully, but like I said, I got everything booked. It's just hopefully I get to go out there.
Then shortly after Arizona, I'm going to the Caribbean. I'm gonna come back a lobster.
Yeah, you get prepped in Arizona. It'd be good.
Exactly.
Thank you.